Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the Zero to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okie dokie, right, so what I want to actually go about today is pretty much my plan going forward until Shadowlands actually comes about. Now, obviously I have alluded to stockpiling and all that jazz, and I wanted to just run down what I'm intending on doing when it comes towards stockpiling overall for myself and what I intend to do on a daily basis in order to increase the amount of gold by putting a little bit of additional gold when it comes to this. Now, I did actually allude to this when I actually did the 5 best casual farms the other day, and what I intend to do is pretty much quite similar to that. What are my objectives? My objectives are, what can I stockpile now in order to get a better return in like 5 months time? Now, what I actually have been thinking about for like Shadowlands was like the gliders, all that jazz, and also like mounts and all that. If we can actually have a look at our auction house at the moment, so a prime example for this would be like the vial of the sands. The vial of the sands at the moment is at 60,000 gold for it. So yeah, it's actually started to go up. But at the moment it's like a market value of 49,754 gold for that particular mount. Now, the min buyout for it at the moment is 60,000 gold, and you can obviously make a hefty amount of gold when it comes towards all of that. At the moment, the crafting cost is around about 21,412 gold for me to actually craft this mount. So I could actually start making some gold through that still. So that would be me investing a sizable amount on this and then just creating all of that jazz going forward. Now, that is definitely in the realm of possibility. I could always make some potions up, and that's probably what I will be actually going about doing. Now, for obvious reasons, I will have to factor in the market value. So obviously the min buyout will say like 60,000 gold, because that's exactly what it is at the moment in time. But judging by what it says on the market value, it's around about 49,754 gold. Then that's like a 10,000 gold decrease on what it actually is worth right now. Really, realistically, what I'm looking at is about an 11,000 gold profit for that actual particular amount. Now, what I actually do think or do predict when it comes to all of this is what is everything going to cost overall, and then I can then work out how much it's actually going to cost just going forward through all of that. So that's what I'm going to be looking into as well. So what I'm really going to be looking at the moment is stockpiling mounts and crafted mounts, to be precise. So we could have a look at like the steel bound harness. This is a mount that is worth 28,995 gold. The market value is at 27,123 gold, and it sells relatively fast in the grand scheme of things. Now, what I could do, however, is I could actually craft some of this and then do all of that jazz. Basically, what I'm overviewing at the moment is like panther mounts and all that jazz. Now, I know I said in the stockpiling video about panther mounts not being that viable, and that is pretty precise. Like, they were like 25,000 gold for a panther mount at the moment. So judging by it, there's not an awful lot of profit to go with that, but you have to bear in mind some things if you did want to go ahead doing like panther mounts. Panther mounts, obviously at the moment I can craft those for a 3,000 gold profit on those, 7,000 gold profit on that one, and overall it seems to be okay. It's not overly that great when it comes to that, so we'll probably like cut out the panther mounts. So the ones that seem to be working quite well is like the harness for the fell core hound. That one's a good one. From blacksmithing we have that recipe, so we're all good there, right there. The other thing of note is the vial of the sands. Vial of the sands is always a staple when it comes to making gold. The other one of note is the mechanized chopper. So mechanized chopper is 36,499 gold. There's 7 on the auction house, and currently the market value, the min buyout is around about 36,499 gold, and a market value of 33,669 gold. So what I will be doing is I will be looking at looking at crafted mounts for me, because I know that area quite well and what I want to stockpile, and judging by this, I'm quite well versed in selling mounts and crafting mounts and farming to craft them, and just in general I've made a lot of my gold through mounts. So I'm going to stick with a market that I know through expansions because I understand the market. So it just makes sense in my mind to stick with something that I know how to make gold with. So what I intend to do is to actually bulk up a load of the mounts and then wait till Shadowlands. So what I could do, however, is I could then bulk out as many as I want for a sizable amount of gold and a sizable amount of profit, get out all of the rest, and then just mass production a load of these. So I could do another 20,000. I could do another 20 mechanized choppers, stockpile those. Vial of the Sands, do another 20 again, and just do like 20 of each. That has been playing in my mind as well. Now, when it comes to like other different types of mounts that can be farmed up, I am considering the Reigns of Poseidus. Now, that one is a really good seller. So what we could do is the Reigns, so the Reigns of and have a look at for the Reigns of Poseidus, and it tends to sell quite well. So Reigns of Poseidus currently worth 18,990 gold. Don't take that into consideration because that's the min buyout. So the market value and the region market value average of 6,855 gold or 8,911 gold for me. So what I actually am considering is, because it's got a sell rate of 0.29, I can then farm that up by parking a load of my alts doing that, and then be able to mass production or mass farm that and then stockpile a load of these, because they will go up in price as and when a new expansion will come about. So what I could do is, if I can find them that they're actually being posted for like 5,000, 6,000 gold, I will buy them out off of the auction house and stockpile. And then other than that, I can do that as well with like the Garden Nightowl mount as well, because they're farmable mounts that I can then keep by and just keep a nice stockpile of. So then I'm considering of trying to get at least a guild bank tab of Garden Nighthowls. That would probably be the first objective when it comes towards mounts. Obviously, I'm leaning more on the lines of mounts, farming them and farming to craft them. Mainly, I want to have a massive bulk load of mounts ready to sell when Shadowlands gets released, and still have a sizable amount of gold in order to invest into the new Shadowlands professions as well, to maximise the amount of gold that I'm actually getting. So what I would intend to do is just farming to craft mounts at this moment in time, and I will be doing some more breakdowns of different types of mounts that we can actually go about doing and trying to make some more gold with this, because even at the end of an expansion, mounts are still viable to actually farm up. This is why I love the mount market, because everyone wants mounts all year round. Doesn't matter your expansion, doesn't matter any of that. Mounts are always wanted because they're mounts, and that is why it's a good money maker to get into. Now, the only thing for me, however, is the barrier to entry for some certain people. So if you wanted to like mass production Vial of the Sands, you're going to need a hefty amount of gold to mass production those. So if you wanted to get right into it, I would start farming like Reigns of Poseidus and Garden Nightowl. But if you wanted to get into your crafting, you're going to need a chunk of gold in order to get into that. And the best thing I would say getting into is a mechanized chopper farm, like actually mass productioning loads of those. That is because mechanized chopper sells quite well. Like, it's infrequent, but it sells well. You'll always get your money back, no matter what, and that has been quite steady for me. I find that it is quite a reliable one, even though it takes a while for it to sell. You always tend to. I've generally not really lost any money when it comes towards making them, and especially if you mass production mounts, you're rarely going to lose gold. Like, really rarely. And coming towards like the end of an expansion, all of the materials at the moment are super cheap, so why don't we make use of that by using that to craft the mounts now and then sell them on once Shadowlands hits. So that's something that I will be doing going forward, and then sorting all of that jazz out. So realistically, this entire video should be like why I'm stockpiling loads of mounts now in order to sell on later That's because when an expansion actually releases for Shadowlands, everyone's going to stop farming up all of the mats, which will increase the price and the cost of production for any of these mounts and the farming of these mounts. So therefore the prices of the actual mount in question will go up, because the crafting cost will go up, because no one's farming those mats and no one's farming the actual world mounts, so they will actually go up in price as well. So it's usually a good way about going about all of this. So that is my plan going forward for actually making gold with mounts towards Shadowlands, and that is what I'm going to be stockpiling moving into Shadowlands, and then I can then make a hefty amount of gold moving forward. Now, other than that, guys, that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about today. Have a great one, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.